Good evening, everyone. Time for another silver update. Wanted to start out tonight with I need to apologize ahead of time. This may be an extremely long video. I have a lot to cover, so I apologize ahead of time. I'll try to go fast. But I wanted to start out with a shout out. Well, first of all, on my channel, I made a comment about Raw Doglet, how I'd replaced him. Raw Doglet's turned around and deleted all his videos, so I did remove him from the list of silver gurus. And I just want to do a shout out real quick for Stella Concepts. If you can see, I've done my list of silver gurus. If you wondered why I put my channel on here, because I'm trying to grow my channel. Normal, natural, not anything to be surprised about, putting it in comparison to other channels. So I took Raw Doglet out. I did replace him with a guy, Kiwi guy, Genius Marketing, and like this guy a lot. He has some great insights. He's an up-and-comer, and I think he's a good up-and-coming silver guru, so I encourage you to subscribe to his channel, watch his videos. Something to learn from him. He's a Kiwi. He's down in New Zealand. I thought he was an Aussie, but anyway, so segue back to good evening, Stella Concepts. He's number one on here. I'm ranking them by channel views and subscribers. SGT Poll has more subscribers but not as many channel views. Stella Concepts is one of the originals. So he's got a new video out, and I'm not going to watch it. I just finished watching it. Very interesting. Stella's bedtime story. So go ahead and watch that. Very interesting. I just wanted to say, first of all, that he's always been above board about what he does. You can see on About Me that he says right there that he believes that silver and gold are suppressed. He is a member of GATA, and he believes in the silver and gold suppression thing. Now, I watched his video, the most recent one he did. I was going to vehemently disagree with him, but in the end he said if I was in America, I'd be very careful about taking profits. So he's pretty clear on the fact that he's taking quite a number of profits with the spike to 50. Don't know when he got out. I hope he got out on the weekend, because we got our spike in the after hours, so interesting. I have a completely opposite perspective than he does as far as silver being an investment vehicle. And he goes through in this video and talks about a friend that he had that built up a great big company, went bankrupt, and his friend learned the important lesson that you always want to take something off the table. That's actually something that Jesse Livermore had pointed out. It's also in Market Wizards that you want to take something off the table, and it's actually in the Ed Sakota interview. It's very fascinating. Goes into something I can't go into it, but if you get a chance to read the Ed Sakota interview in Market Wizards, go ahead and read that. But basically, Stella Concepts is talking about how this guy pretty much built up a gigantic company, lost everything, and he learned that you need to take something off the table. So my big disagreement with silver, of course, is take it off the table into what? Fiat. And he does point that out. I'll give him that. He does point that out. He says if I were in America, things would be different. So great guy, fantastic leader of the silver community. Wouldn't want to diss him in any way. Happen to disagree with him. May just be a matter of perspective. But so I wanted to address the panic that we're seeing going on with the market right now. And let's go to the chart, because that's the most important thing. And wanted to point out, first of all, one key point I wanted people to see is, let's just take this. Remember our 46, I think it was Friday, we got in the 46 area, something like that. Let's just take that, excise that out here. So as I draw this flat line, if I can draw one here, let's just imagine that this action didn't occur. So let's say we went from here to here, okay? I'm going to argue that this is actually very bullish. Here's why. Look at our reset on the MACD. We've actually got a reset all the way down to, I've drawn a line here, we've got a reset all the way down to a low we did in January, a low we did later in January, a low we did at the end of January, lower than a low we did in February, almost as low as a low we did in late February, one that we lower than we did in mid-March, and now we're back in April. We're completely reset, and we're at Friday's prices. So that's not bearish to me. Pretty much is self-explanatory. That's how I look at it, because I pretty much follow the MACD. Could this be a larger move? Could this be a type of top? Well, let's look. We had a really big top back in 2008. I don't know how many of you are around for that. That was a tremendous debacle. That was actually the financial collapse. This was the Bear Stearns top. A lot of us rode this down. A lot of us who had accumulated physical all the way through, from here all the way up. Now, if you think what you're looking at now is hairy, try riding one of these ones out. But as I pointed out before, if you kept watching your eBay, and you kept watching your APMEX, and you kept watching all of your other markets, it was more like this. Sort of the way this top right here doesn't exist because it happened on the weekend. This bottom didn't really exist. I was fortunate enough to buy right here. But at this point, when we touched 850, I remember 5:30 a.m. on that day, on the day of that low, the Buffaloes were $12.50 on APMEX, so we had a $4 premium. So we didn't get, but anyway, I'm getting caught up in what I'm saying. So I want to point out a few other things here, and I'm going to start with the latest BIX Weir. This is important because BIX is trying to do something similar that I'm trying to do, and that is point out that someone who's been in the market a long time needs to understand why you don't panic, why there's no reason to panic. So he's got a new article today. Very good. The Silver Pacifier. He's got us a Silver Pacifier here. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to use it to segue into some things I've observed and some things that are going on. But BIX Weir has been spot on for a long time. I think he's probably closer than most about the real situation that we're facing. So let's read BIX Weir real quick. There is massive fear in the silver market. Every time the price of silver moves down a tick, the sweat begins to bead up on the brows of silver investors, and the dark fear of investing doubt fills their thoughts. Oh my, have I made the wrong decision again? What was I thinking buying silver when it was close to its all-time high price? Maybe I should sell some silver and take some of my winnings off the table. Ultimately, it is fear and not greed that drives the big move in prices for all investments. And right now, fear is the motivator for silver investors. But very soon, that same fear will be the driver of silver blasting off to the moon. If you are strong enough to remove the fear from your mindset, the picture of what is happening to the price of silver is much more clear. As a matter of fact, we have seen this price action for the last 10 years over and over again. Silver has risen and fallen to extremes consistently all the way to $50 an ounce. The mainstream media loves to point out how silver is much more volatile than gold and is a much riskier investment. Of course, they never give reasons why a commodity with very, very stable mine production and stable industrial consumption is so volatile. I'm going to read that for you again so you can think about this. Let this sink in very deep, what Bix is saying here. The media never gives you a reason why a commodity that has very stable mine production and stable industrial consumption, although stably rising, is so volatile. Why? Think about it, people. Why? Because they're rigging the price. They're hoping that you're not smart enough to ask the important questions like, is the silver market rigged? And if so, how is it done? Why are they doing it? And when will it end? For those who follow my work at roadtobruta.com, you understand the answers to these questions are not swayed by the volatility of silver. For those unfamiliar with the road to Ruta theory, I'd suggest you read this article. It explains it, but fair warning, this may shatter your illusion of free markets and how the world is supposed to work. And he goes into his road to Ruta theory. Now he answers some questions here. Is the silver market rigged? Yes. Every day and every trade, the silver market is controlled and has been for at least the last 40 years. Nobody knows the true fair market value of silver anymore, so all prices for silver are currently irrelevant. How is it done? The silver market rigging is accomplished by running computer market trading programs to steer the price of silver up and down, flushing out weak hands on the price slams and covering short positions that were previously put in place to cap the rising price. These silver trades have little to do with physical silver, but everything to do with paper derivatives of silver. There's no floor or limit to where the controllers can place the price of silver. Why are they doing it? To save the unbacked fiat monetary system. Unless you control the prices of all commodities, especially the monetary metals, an unbacked paper or electronic monetary system will fail in rapid fashion. As such, when the U.S. went off the gold standard in the early 70s, Alan Greenspan wrote and implemented the original computer market rigging models to prolong the acceptance of unbacked fiat money. This was the implementation of the 1960s economic theory called On the Road to the Golden Age by Bertil Naslin, which dealt with Nobel Prize winner E. Phelps' golden rule theory of capital accumulation. He goes on. I'm a follower of Bixweir. I don't agree with him about everything, but he's probably by far the most cutting edge of the silver conspiracy people. So, now I wanted to share with you a video that I made this morning. It just happens to coincide with what we're talking about right now. But I, of course, like you do, check the market regularly. And one of the things I check is the tick chart. Now, this tick chart is our most recent chart, and you can see there's some kind of pattern here. A little bit. I mean, nothing that really yells and screams at you. So, but, you know, some kind of pattern. So let me refresh or show you what I saw this morning. It struck me so odd that I went ahead and made a video of it. And this is the video that I made of what I saw this morning. This is the silver market. Let me turn the volume down so you don't hear me ranting. This is this morning's silver market. Now, what struck me as so bizarre is the way, well, there's three things here. First, the way the declines are so perfect in their movements, as well as the rises. You see these? It's actually trading while I'm watching. So this is the video that I filmed and I'm talking over it. Another thing that's so interesting about this is these angles. Do you see these angles? They're not quite a right triangle. See this one here? And these here? And this one here? And if you watch it trade, you can see it trade. It's actually trading here. And it does little jigs and jacks, but it seems to always jump back to this angle. Almost, so here we get a drop here. And then I think we get a phase out. But let me forward in the video so we can go forward and see, because I can't have you watch the whole thing. But as we go forward in the video, my prediction would be either we're going to continue with this or we're going to turn around and go with one of these. And so we'll go forward in the video and take a look and see what happened. And you can see we're trying to work towards that. It's interesting that it actually kind of violates what I was predicting, which was a down line. But now we're going on an up line at the exact same angle. So watch as I begin to draw these lines. And you'll find that these lines to the downside are virtually parallel as the lines to the upside, as well as the angle of these changes from the upside to the downside. Now what's the offshoot of all this? Well, as soon as I draw this, I'm going to go and look at the tick chart of some other commodities. Going to jump over to, I believe it's gold, and then I will jump over to maybe take a look at platinum and then some of the currencies. But this is live tick chart silver this morning. So I'm jumping over to, at this point, I'm looking at, going to jump to the spot euro, okay? This is, you see that? Nothing that you would recognize as a pattern. I'm jumping over to the spot, this is silver spot Great Britain. Kind of interesting, kind of patterned, but nothing like what we were seeing. Back to the silver in America. And I wanted to point out to you, that's the end of the video, so let's jump back to our live chart that we have today, which is, this is silver as it's trading right now. This is live trading in Asia, and I'm going to go ahead and clear out my lines that I drew. So, kind of tendencies you can see, but nothing like the extreme nature of the patterns we saw. So, all this to say this, I think that when we look at what I just saw, that lends a lot of credence to Bix's theory. I don't think these are free markets. I think Bix is right. I think the silver market is a controlled market. I do not think it's as controlled in the off hours in Asia and the other markets. But 7:30 a.m. when they opened it up in New York and crashed it, and how it moved, it really looks like computers trading with computers. So what's going on? I don't know. Computers overseas fighting with computers in the US? I don't know. But I don't think these are real people buying and selling silver. And the stock market, to me, since the May flash crash, looks a lot the same. So back to the original point, back to Stella Concepts and what he was saying. Stella is talking about how you need to take some money off the table. I couldn't agree more, except for the fact that in the situation we're in right now, there's no place to put the money if you take it off the table. So you've got to leave it in. We're going much higher. As I've said, we're going to 3 digits, then we're going to 4 digits with silver. And as I pointed out with Jesse Livermore and showing how you can make money jumping in and out, but you can't catch the whole thing, because one of these times you're going to be wrong. And if you sell all your silver right here, yes, it's a percentage chance, but it could happen. We could open at 60 tomorrow. Then when you get in, when are you going to get back in then? What's your price point to get back in? So I have a little different philosophy than Stella. I don't see silver as a trading opportunity. I see silver as the money that's off the table. That means buy the dips. Are we in a dip right now? Maybe. It could be the end of the dip. 45 looks like a pretty good price to me. So if you can find some deals on some stuff at 45, a little bit over spot, maybe a nice numismatic premium, I'd say pick it up if you got the money, because this thing could open at 60 tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll talk to you next time.